Roll call, yes, sir. Commissioner Stinson.
Here.
Commissioner Montoya. Vice Chair Scott.
Here.
Commissioner Mayers.
Here.
Commissioner Bernstein. Commissioner Bacon.
Here.
Chairman Metcalf.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of December 10th. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 10th.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business. Item A, Cool PZ 260307. The rezoning application request for the approximate 18.08 acres of land located near the northeast corner of South Highway 87 and East Randolph Road. To rezone the subject property from the Ag zoning district to a general industrial I-2 zoning district as submitted by Hanson Engineering and Surveying on behalf of TGF Properties LLC in construction with Stinger Bridge and Iron and being a portion of APN number 401-21-013L. Public hearing, discussion, and action.
Good evening. This is a request as read from the Agricultural Zoning District to the I-2 for Stinger Bridge and Iron. Within this location here, this is actually part of what is an existing parent parcel up in this area here. With the successive or approved recommendation for zoning, this will be appropriately lot split so that this area here will fit the criteria relative to the acreage that is called out here. So not going to spend too much time, just the basics here. Once again, the land use we can see is industrial manufacturing. It has that pretty much all the way around it. That lines up the ability for its opportunity to be rezoned from ag into the I-2. We have I-2 to the north, to the south, a little bit right here, and also in this area here. The general purpose would be so that Stinger Bridge and Iron could process other product orders for large-scale projects and customers, and that the subsequent proposals for the use of this land would need to be submitted to us for a major minor site plan review, which is currently underway at this particular time. So that is the basic straightforward. The applicant representative is here, pending that you have other questions, and they can present other information that they would like to bring to your attention.
Good evening, Chairman Metcalf, Commissioners. My name is Tim Hansen with Hansen Engineering, 115 South Main Street, right here in Coolidge, Arizona. On behalf of our Stinger Bridge and Iron, Phil pretty much covered it. There's not a lot to this, but I want to thank staff for their help and Commission for their consideration. If you got questions, I'll see what I can do to answer them.
Questions?
I got a question for staff, if I could, please. Staff, can you walk us through the step-by-step, the process when a business or somebody wants to come here, what the steps are for getting approved to come into the city?
Let's talk about the licensing and stuff.
Are there certain steps that have to be done before construction starts and things of the nature?
Typically, we would sit down and have a pre-application meeting. It's not technically required of this portion. That would be the announcement to what the property might be used, and whatever the proposal might be, should it also require the other processes such as this, would be informing the applicant that they would need to provide that information to subsequently step into the next areas of entitlement, which would then allow them to proceed into building and civil plan submittal.
So to answer your question, yes, there is a process, and we're working through the process with this applicant because they started ahead of the process. So now we're bringing them back into compliance with this rezone, with the major site plan. But typically, they would come to us usually before they start any development with the property, just to make sure that they're able to do it. So this is a case where we're bringing them back into compliance.
Yeah, I would assume it'd be customary to come in and get the zoning changed and then go to the city council
Yes,
and get
sir.
approved, and
Yes,
then
sir.
come back to the city and draw permits before any work was done on the property. Is that
Yes, sir.
the order in which the process goes?
Exactly right.
Okay. I just noticed driving by there quite frequently that, they're already moving dirt out there.
They are. And that's why we're here tonight, just to get this back on track.
Okay. I know not from personal experience, but from a neighbor in Maricopa County that did a project like that without permits, without being properly zoned. And the Maricopa County made them put it back the way it was and then come in and do the process. So I don't know if there's penalties. I don't know if we're setting a precedent that it's okay to do that. Stinger's an outstanding, company. I don't know, maybe are they building the wall for the border wall?
That's not what this is for.
Okay. I was just curious, maybe they had something from the government saying.
I know they were. I don't know if that's still an
Get
active
things-
contract with them or not.
Okay.
Tim, do you want to add to that, or?
I agree with staff and Commissioner Scott, you're right. The cart got in front of the horse on this one. We're burning midnight oil and stuff to try and get this in compliance as quickly as we can. This is one of several things that needs to be done.
Okay.
And for expedited permits, yes, there are double fees, expedited reviews, there's double fees, and they have asked for that. So that's kind of the consequences of doing this.
So did they come to their senses and realize that they jumped the gun? Or did you guys have to go out there and see what was going on?
We went out there and stopped them, yes,
Okay,
the city did.
okay. So what's gonna be in that property? We're gonna get it, asking for a rezone for industrial. Is it gonna be a building, or is it gonna be a setup yard, or?
So Commissioner Scott, what the site plan we've submitted and the civil plans we're working on have a building that's 105 by 405 feet diagonally in here with a drive that lines up with the one across the street. There's some big El Paso natural gas easements through here, and the building parallels that. There's some SRP on this side. We'll have some retention in this northeast corner and the remaining retention in this corner. There's big concrete pad in and out. Building has huge doors on each side that big things can come in and out of.
Okay,
And street frontage landscaping and right-of-way dedication from there to there per the transportation plan, the city's general plan.
so I saw the hole on the west side, and I assume that's water retention. And then there was
Yeah.
a pile of dirt, raised area, kind of on a diagonal, like you said, kind of in the center.
That's probably the building pad. I haven't been out there for a while. I don't want to see right now.
All right. That's all I have right now.
Any other questions, Bill? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna
Thank you.
open it to the public. I'm gonna open the meeting to the public to discuss Cool PZ 260307. Anybody who would like to speak, come to the microphone, state your name and address, and can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Cool PZ 26-03-07.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Pool PZ 260307. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, Pool PZ 260308, rezoning application and request for approximately 1.745 acres of land located generally north of West Pinkley Avenue, west of North 4th Street, and south of West Beam Avenue, and to rezone this contiguous properties from the single-family residential R1 zoning district to a general service C3 zoning district as submitted by James Jarrett on behalf of Jarrett Motors for those locations addressed as 415 and 419 West Beam Avenue and 462 West Pinkley Avenue with the following APN numbers of 205-04-218A, 116 acres. Two is 205-04-217A, 1.28 acres. Number three is 204-04-2090, 0.14 acres, and 205-04-2100, 0.16 acres, and portion of an alley being approximately 20 feet by 100 feet, 0.005 acres in size. Bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to identify, once again, the 4 parcels that you had called out here, and this is the alley. From a little bit of discussion today and the applicant, and there'll be a little bit of discussion, other commentary coming after this, but tonight we're actually only going to work with these 2 pieces right here. The applicant asked us to actually make this not a part of it. Legal counsel let us know a little earlier today that we could proceed as this approach and then also before city council. So with that idea in mind, we're considering the rezoning for these 2 pieces right here, fronting Pinkley Avenue and west of 4th Street. So within the downtown area here, land use shows all the light blue areas here being the downtown core, and the yellow is the urban neighborhood. When we go to our zoning map, you will see presently that the zoning is R1. And once again, we're not considering this evening, but these 2 parcels here to go from R1 to C3. That's probably about the best way to sum it up, as some stuff will come out through some commentary and discussion, I'm sure questions that you would ask. So at this particular time, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Chair, to continue conducting this item, so.
I wondered about this one. I drove through there the other day. Figured it was gonna cause a little heat. Okay, I'm gonna open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter, please come to the microphone.
Good evening, Chairman, Vice Chairman, members. My name is Jim Allen. I actually reside in Valley Farms, but I'm representing my mother that occupies at 441 West Pima. You mind if I approach the map? So this parcel here is my mother's parcel. She's a longtime 54-year resident of this parcel here. She's still living there. We have Miss Ashley, I can't speak her name, and then Kathy Saints, Kathy Usey is Now we know what we're talking about. What my concern is these two parcels here, my big concern was that these do not get changed to C3 because that's not a complementary zoning when this is still an existing residential neighborhood. And then also that the alleyway will also be taken off because that's the only way to make these contiguous lots is by surrounding that alleyway, which makes that so it can be zoned. You can understand that what it would do to aesthetics to have this type of parking lot next to another parking lot would happen too. So I'm asking that the commission look at that and deny that part. Based on if this gets rejected, we had a conversation with the owner, the applicant. We made some agreements that he was going to remove that, and that this would go ahead without, I believe the rest of the residents in this area have agreed that we won't argue that they're not happy about it, but they understand that this is something that will probably happen.
It's already been there, it's already there, so.
That's correct. So we're not trying to argue that, we're just trying to leave what we have here without interruption with this.
Okay, so the alley is gonna stay in all the way down to there.
No, so the alley with the concession was asked if the alley could be closed off at this point, right here at this property, which is the corner of my property. And that way this can be combined, whatever he needs to do with his properties.
Right.
So the alley would still be unrestricted for utility access as well as the residents access to get up and down it. And also what I think that people gotta understand is that alley over the years has been used by law enforcement to actually get behind the houses if there was ever an issue. It doesn't really pay itself to fire because there is no exit. Even when this was an exit, this doesn't meet fire access roads. So that's, I asked, and I think we've come to an agreement. And obviously with what's the current use of this property and its condition, the new zoning would bring it into compliance with the zoning standards that we're compliant.
Right.
Anyhow, that's pretty much, I had a lot more, but I wanted to.
See all the workforce already.
Sir, this is what, for those, I work in a similar facility. Let's just go with that. So,
Okay.
thank you for your time, and that's what I need to say.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask him a
Yes,
question.
wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Do you have any other concerns with maybe what's going to go on in that rectangle block?
We do have a lot of concerns. One of the conversations I've had with the other residents is understanding that a C3 is also allows anything in a C2 uses, and that is quite a variety of uses that can be done. One thing that I do understand too also is the requirements for surface, the ground surface for preparation between asphalt, concrete, or alternative structure material, also for the purpose of screening walls. So understanding that the condition it's in now, a lot of those can be resolved by the rezoning, which is a correct use of the rezoning. So I believe that the residents also understand that. One of the concerns from one of the local residents is also the view that they don't constantly have to look out and see a parking lot with equipment or inoperable vehicles and all the parking, and also the dust that's, and also the, Pinell County's in a PM10 and PM 2.5 air quality standards. Don't ask how I know this stuff, okay? We'll just get better off. But, but understanding that the rezoning and bringing it into the C3 would be would be in compliance, and the improvements could be done in phases. Understood that. I think we all respect that. And that's all we would ask is, the other thing is when the improvements you asked about concerns is, would that be in parking, that any type of lighting, parking lot lighting, of course, that turns into the lighting codes and things of that nature. So we concern ourselves about that. But one of the things that's beneficial to all of us is this alleyway creates a buffer zone from a sound and type thing.
Right.
And by leaving that alone, this is also my property. There's going to be a screen wall, I understand, be put up here. The buffer portion that I understand, knowing this, my mother actually resides in this portion of the house about middle of the lot because of the yard and whatnot. So there's somewhat of a buffer. so she won't be too affected by the sound. But over here would be a direct effect within 5 to 10 feet. It
Yep.
would not be affected. So that's what I asked, that's the position on it.
Okay. Sounds like you've already got it all worked out with Jim.
I know a few things. I've stayed at Holiday Inn Express.
Are there any possible concerns you might have with property value?
Absolutely. I believe that when surrounded, to start putting the commercial property around it, it will absolutely affect property value. There's absolutely no way for that not to make a major effect. And especially, and I realize that we've already got it off the board, but with the idea of tying those two lots in, you basically got two residents in between two parking lots. You can basically call the resale off the table, except for the person that wants the whole property.
Yep.
That's really the desire. But at least this way, we have right now, three currently occupied and residing residents that's still on this residential street. So we ask that they can enjoy the peacefulness and what they purchased years ago to enjoy that out.
Yep.
Okay.
And may I add, the applicant is okay with that. He wants to be a good neighbor, so he asked us to withdraw those two lots.
So after we get done with call to the public, then we can have the applicant come up and then we can ask them questions?
No, he's not here.
It's right there. Oh, you're not there? Okay. So what is the surface going to be? What type of business operations are they going to be sticking there? Is it going to be like,
It's already there.
I know that, I'm asking a question. You know,
We're
are
just,
they gonna be
we'll just
like-
have to stick with the code, you know what the code requires,
Well,
depending on what he does. If it's gonna be parking, he'll have to have a surface treatment, you know, dust-free surface. If he's gonna build a building, he'll have to adhere to all the setbacks. You know, it just depends. Right now, we're just doing a rezone to start bringing him back into compliance from what he's currently using.
That's what I'm asking the question for on behalf of the citizens that are here.
Yes, sir, we understand.
You know, is it gonna be a parking lot like it is now? Or is it gonna be a mechanic shop?
Currently, he has no plans for it except to keep it the way it is now for parking. He is developing the other upper portion that's west of Mr. Allen's property. He is resurfacing that and paving that entire lot. So that's going to be his used car parking lot there. So there's no buildings there. There's really going to be no real noise. Yeah, he just needs more room for his dealership and display of vehicles, and he's growing his dealership. He's growing his maintenance side of it. He's adding employees, so he's looking for more space to grow his business.
So I noticed on Pima Avenue off the boulevard where he parks his vehicles at, there's looks like a couple of lots there that have been, whatever's on there's been demolished and scraped down to the bare dirt.
Yeah, that's the lot. He's currently working on the paving. Hanson Engineering is working on the site plans for him. So and that'll be a parking lot.
Okay.
And again, he will fence off that and screen it off for Mr. Allen's property.
So as far as you know, it's just gonna be more parking. It's not gonna be more buildings?
No, it's just gonna be more parking. That's for sure. And per Tim Hanson, he's working on the grading plan for him, and he's already contracted the contractors for the paving portion of it. So
Okay.
he specifically said it's for his used car lot.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kathy Sinks. I live at 411 West Pima. I am the owner occupant. I am very dismayed with this because I hear you say he's going to park his used cars there. Maybe, once it's zoned, he can do anything with it. He can put a machine shop there. He can change his mind tomorrow. And this, I have lived in that home for 45 years. And I was going to retire in 3 years and have a paid-for home. And now I've got a used car lot on my beautiful
Now,
block. And I am at the very end.
right.
And Jimmy is at this end. But in front of us is the city facility that they do summer camp for children there. They do all the distribution of the food. They have all kinds of things that are family orientated. Baseball, t-ball, soccer, all these things go on directly across the street from his lot and my lot and the whole block. It's that's why a lot of people bought homes there, is because they're old and it is a wider street than these subdivisions. And there's not that constant traffic. And then we have all the city events going on there, all of them. And it just doesn't make sense to me to put a used car lot so far in a residential neighborhood where all these things go on. It doesn't fit, you know, in the middle of this residential neighborhood. I'm very distressed about it. This is not what I thought Coolidge was doing, and all of a sudden the lot is leveled to the ground, and all the trees, everything, because they're gonna have a used car lot.
So there's the used car lot that I was speaking of. It's already zoned for that.
Okay, well, what about Jim's at the end? That's what we're talking about. I'm talking about his lot at the end. I know it's zoned that
Those two lots at the end down by your house?
down by his house, but it's still on my
Can you just point
block.
at the blocks that you're talking about, please?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jim.
So this is,
Right there.
here, these lots right here were what used to be considered a nursery back in the day.
Right.
That's why they were zoned that way. So this is my lot here, Ms. Sinks is in this lot here. So this was already a parking lot, and understanding the zoning for it already allows for what the use is already.
Right.
So it's.
I'm just-
That's what the use is. This is what I think the concern is, Kathy, is this
Yeah.
section here.
Yeah,
Is that it's a parking lot, well, we already know it's been used as a parking lot, but if it comes into compliance with the required standards, then it would be quite so visible to the public.
right. I'm just concerned with parking cars at the lot, that you're just gonna keep pushing on down and make it all, business I just, I'm
Mr.
dismayed
Chairman, can
by
I
it all.
ask a question when she gets
as a
started?
resident in Coolidge for that many years and at that home.
Mrs. Sinks,
Yes.
is your concern about the property that borders on Pima Avenue, or is your concern about the large rectangle that we're discussing?
The
tonight?
large rectangle, I understand, that's gonna be, I'm not as concerned about that. I'm concerned about the properties on Pima Avenue.
Okay.
All of it. Down on Jim's side, I'm not happy with that, but it is what it is. And I'm concerned about the new traffic coming there. I'm concerned about the children that are with the facility across the street from me. I'm concerned about it all, how it affects our neighborhood.
Currently,
for-
Mrs. Sinks, we're just talking about the rectangle.
Oh, I'm
If I
sorry.
rem- If I'm correct on that, is right? I appreciate your
Okay,
thoughts and
I'm sorry. I
concerns
thought
on
we were
that.
talking about the whole thing.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
apologize for
From
that.
what I understand, that part's been withdrawn.
Yeah, but not on Jim's end, and I'm just still not happy.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
So what she's referring to is this.
This.
You're correct. Is it the subject that right now that's before the board is this section here and this section. That's the section. So her concern was this. I think we
Yeah.
all come to an agreement about that.
That's been withdrawn.
That's correct, absolutely, sir.
And the alley is a concern of mine.
Is on this and that,
The alley is a concern of mine.
but that's already been withdrawn.
Okay,
It's been withdrawn.
Okay,
thank you.
okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Good evening. I'm Patty Burton, used to be Patty Higginbotham. I live at 433 West Pinkley, which was my grandmother's house. The house next to me is my mother's house at 417 West Pinkley. Our concern is, or my concern and Mark's concern is that we're right next door to Garrett's, and these big vehicles come and park in front of our driveways and block us in. We can't get in, we can't get out. We have to ask them to move. Their trash blows over into our yard. And I'm just saying this because this is what's going to happen to them. All that rigmarole trash that they, whatever they're doing, you know, they put the car mats in and they blow over into the yard. I think the people actually, I put up a fence, which Garrett should have put up a fence, not me. But I did because they're weeds. That's another thing. They're weeds. They have equipment over there that shouldn't be there. The ground in the big section isn't covered properly. I mean, really, I mean, if he's going to do something, do it right. You know, don't do it half-assed. So, yeah, I mean, I can see where all their concerns are coming from because I'm already living it.
Okay.
So, I'm just putting my words in.
Ma'am, can you point on the map where you live, where you're currently residing?
Right there.
Yep.
The church is on the end. Church is on the end.
Right here?
Yeah,
I live here and Mark lives here.
okay.
So what's your experience again with the current business in front of your house, now that I know where you live?
Their debris comes over, still comes over into my yard. The big trucks, they all come up and they all park right here, right in front of our house. They don't pull up where they should be. You know, he put in that electric car thing, so I'm sure they can't block that because somebody might need to use it. But, I mean, go park on the boulevard or go park in the middle of the street, but they don't have to block my house and Mark's house.
Okay.
So,
And again, this is all good stuff. You know, it's the first we've heard about this, so we could approach code enforcement to kind of keep an eye on this sort of thing and help out the residents.
You need to get with that man right there, and I guarantee you those trucks won't park in front of your house and the trash won't blow over there. I can almost bet on that.
well, you know, the ADOT came and marked parking spots, but funny thing is, they forgot to mark my area.
I saw that the other day
So,
too.
yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd
Okay.
put my 2 cents in.
So I assume there's city codes as far as trucks unloading on a public street, things of that nature? That maybe
We'll have to look into
we
it to
could
see
look
what,
into to help the citizen out.
yeah, we'll do everything we can to help them out and see what the actual situation is and what alternative parking they can use for unloading.
So can I bring up another question?
Yes, ma'am.
So are there going to be big lights that are glaring down? Because there's already a couple of lights over at Garrett's that glare into my
Yes.
house. There's no way to not have that, or,
Well, there's no plan so far of any lighting to be developed in that area yet, or buildings.
These are big lights on the back of the building on Central
Okay.
that are aimed back this way that's hitting her house.
Well, we'll take a look at it and see if it's, if we can do something about that with the
Okay.
applicant.
because his mother's going to get it big time because their house is right next door, just like mine.
Understood,
So-
okay.
Just a concern.
Okay,
Okay.
No, that's good stuff.
thank you. Next.
Hello, board. My name is Raul Felix, and I live at 391 West Pima. So mine's not really affected, but talking to these guys about the property values going down. And I just moved there about 9 years ago, and I plan to retire. And then I'll be taking care of my grandkids, and usually when you get kids a bicycle, they'll have to ride out in the street. So if there's cars or the semi-trucks coming down, I'm just afraid something's gonna happen, you know, so, and it's been a real nice, quiet place till now.
Well,
But,
it doesn't look like it's gonna change much.
right, yeah, now that he's talked to Jimbo about it, yes, yeah. So it's just, to me, really the property value and stuff, and I've got a few trash, 2 Garrett mats usually blown in my yard too, and so, yeah, it all comes in.
I think if you took one of those down and handed it to Jim, he'd say, look, I'm very sorry. I'll get somebody down there and we'll get it taken care of.
It's an idea.
You're not wrong.
I know the man himself. I know what he'd say. All of you just need to talk to your neighbors, I think. Because I don't think he's doing this. Right now, he's just coming into compliance with the city regulations. Should have been done a long time ago, but it wasn't. But the cleanup, all this stuff, if Jim knew about it, he'd be doing something about it.
Okay,
So walk down the street and talk to him.
yeah, I sure will.
I mean,
Sometimes it's not the citizen's responsibility, it's the person that created the trash to
but
police
if
his
they
business.
don't know about that
Well-
it's blowing into their yard across the street and this
Part of
stuff.
being a good neighbor, you gotta be respectful.
Well, yeah, but that was just my main concern, and that was it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else want to speak? The public section is closed. Any questions up here?
I've got some for the staff. I mean, we've talked over and listened to the citizens speak, and, concerns, what's gonna go there and things of the such. Would it be appropriate at this state to put a stipulation that property remain as a parking lot and nothing else?
No, you can't.
Look,
Once
I'm
you
asking,
rezone it,
I'm asking them,
you
not
can't.
asking you.
I'm just telling you, you can't do that.
I'm
Once
asking
you
them.
rezone it, it's done.
You're out of order, sir. Point of order, I'm talking. You don't talk when I talk.
At least until we die.
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair Scott, there's not a primary use as parking lot. So it's not, automobile sales, I think as Phil calls out, is the actual use, one of the uses that's permitted in C3. An accessory use to that is parking lots or parking of vehicles.
I understand that, but wouldn't it be appropriate to put a stipulation, even though it's approved for other things with it?
But we can't, the issue is you can't limit it to something that's not already a primary. There's not a use in our zoning code that says specifically as a principal use parking lot. So we can't limit it to just that because it's not in our code as something. We're not limiting to something that's in the code, I guess is a easier way to say it. We can certainly ask, the applicant could put that own stipulation on the property. Staff can ask if that's something they'd be interested in.
Yeah, it's just that, as brought up by the citizens, this property's been out of code for quite some time. And, it's been allowed to operate. And the citizens, for the most part, are, it's okay, I guess. But now, there's a question mark. It's gonna get rezoned to what it should be all along, but there's some question marks on what the potential land use is gonna be, from what I hear from them.
Just one thing to keep in mind, zoning codes came about essentially to create stabilized valuation. There's performance criteria, noise, odor, glare, there's bulk standards, setbacks, heights, things of that nature that are built into these very things. For example, even as a C3 district, under our code, it specifically is aware and wants to be understanding of adjacent residential uses. So in this case, not unlike what we approved a couple years ago across the street with Line and Fire, their buildings are set back 45 feet from the surface of the closest residential structure right across the street. So there's an example of a C3, and of course, they've got the wall, and it's a staging area, but not the building or a structure. So even if he tried doing something different under the automotive definition, it would still have to be wherever the location of the house is, that distance plus the alley, plus whatever internally to equal that 45 feet to create that distancing factor in respect to the residential element, which is, once again, kind of the core function of zoning. So between the two different categories, it's built into that to try to create that conformity, so.
Yeah, I understand that perfectly, but I think, speaking on behalf of the citizens that are here, is the uncertainty of what's going to be going there. That's their question. I understand the zoning, if it gets zoned for that, then he can put whatever falls within that zoning. But, you know, some of these citizens have lived there their whole life, you know, or they've been family homes for a long time. And, you know, they'll be affected. They'll be affected on the minimum side if it's just a change of scenery.
So ultimately, P and Z is the recommending body. So if you wanted to recommend a stipulation, I would just think it needs to be confined to something that's in the zoning code as a permitted use. You're limiting to a permitted use that's on the property.
Can you talk a little closer to the mic? I have a lot of earwax or something.
Sorry for that, Vice Chair Scott. So P and Z as the recommending body is not, you're recommending to council approval, disapproval, and even if you were to recommend a stipulation, my point is, I think it should be limited to a permitted use that's in the zoning code. So parking lot is not a permitted use. It's an accessory use to whatever is principally permitted. For example, automobile, boat, recreational vehicle sales, service, and rental is a principally permitted use in C3, which is how, which is what Garrett Motors is operating under currently. So if you wanted to recommend to council that limitation, you can recommend it, and it can be included in the staff report prepared by Phil and James when it goes to council.
I think for the council, I think on behalf of the citizens, which we serve, that there needs to be some clarification on that. Either a stipulation.
That you're
or-
looking for a limitation to, that it's currently being used, or it will be used as it currently is.
As it currently is, correct. I know, you know, we're just an advisory board to the city council. They have the final say.
Yeah, it's most typically with plats, you know, pre-plat site plans is when we, you know, we could incorporate that sort of language. For rezoning, I don't think it's, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're recommending. So if your recommendation is it's a limited to, again, I'm just saying it needs to be something that is pointed out in the code. Parking lot is not pointed out in the code as a principal use for the property.
Correct.
So the closest thing is what is Garrett is currently operating as, which is automobile, boat, vehicle sales, service, and rental. So you could have a recommendation of approval with the stipulation that it be limited to that, which is similar to how Garrett's is currently.
Yeah, currently, that's what he does on his other properties, and this large rectangle-shaped lot is currently just a parking place, from what I see when I drive by. Okay?
I can't.
Gotta
I'm
earn your
tr-
money tonight, Nick, come
There
on.
you go.
All right.
Go ahead.
Sir, I understand what the staff is trying to say. I think and this is me understanding some of the situation, is the word parking lot is not in your C3, so therefore they can't quote the C as a parking lot. But interpretation of that could be a staging area, it could be inoperable vehicle storage. There's things that can work on interpretation of what that word means, because parking lot in itself may not be the actual words that's in the system. Am I close?
Yeah, without go, I'm not. Oh yeah, we're not gonna have a back and forth, but yeah, he's in the ballpark. I mean, there's the P and Z and the council have adopted a zoning code that outlines what is permitted in each zoning district. If the recommendation is to limit, it's going to be limited to what's already in there. We can't create new zoning classifications. Parking lot would be creating a new principally permitted use. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Public section's closed. I need a motion.
I have a suggestion first.
Okay.
Because this was read with 4 parcel numbers, we need to know which 2 parcel numbers we're voting on.
Good point.
What's actually identified by the resolution, or excuse me, it's just inclusive of, basically, the easiest way to identify that is it's
Numbers.
it is the 2 that are
3 and 4?
the last 2. The .14 acres and the .16 acres. So it's involving 1 and 2, but you don't read out the
we can-
parcel numbers in the approval. It's the item number, so you're okay.
Mr. Chair and Chairman or Commissioner Bacon, I think it's fine to say whatever motion you make to, you can say move approval excluding the 2 northern parcels. That's fine. We'll have them excluded from any legal description before it goes to council.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
I do have one question for the staff, a little confusing. The original proposal for rezoning request listed, about 200 feet of alleyway,
100 feet.
100 feet. Was that the alleyway between Pima and Pinkley, where those lots are that aren't being included anymore? Or is that the alleyway off of Pinkley, going, north and south?
It's the alley portion between the larger piece and the 2 smaller ones that are not a part of it. We had to include this to make it contiguous for the proposal. So this would also not include the alley section this evening.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve Cool PZ 260308, removing parcels 3, 4, as well as the 20 feet or 20 by 100 feet, .005 acres of the portion of the alley.
Okay. Good. Second.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Staff report.
Thank you all for coming tonight and helping with this. Thank you, folks, from coming from the public and speaking your mind. We appreciate that. Right now, we have a lot of irons in the fire. We're still, really going after and trying to promote businesses in town. We haven't had much luck the last few months, unfortunately. But we're going after grants. We completed the apron project at the airport. That was nice, and we're already leasing portions of that. Code enforcement is really stepped up, and we're really hitting a lot of areas in town, trying to clean up the boulevard and all the main thoroughfares. We had our last fly-in was last weekend, so that was nice. They've been well attended, so that's a big public draw. Phil, do you have any other thing? Gilbert? Oh, and the grading the mass grading at the park is near completion. They're working on the dog park. They're working on the paths. We're working on more grants for that portion. So that's been a big undertaking. So we're pretty proud of getting that going.
Other than say, we have lots of inquiries all the time. Sometimes they're making it to the level of being public knowledge or things we can tell you, but not right now, but many inquiries and lots of tire kicking. So hopefully some of those things will come to fruition soon.
And that's all we have.
Okay. Have a motion?
They were right. It's just, these weren't in sequence to the address.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's no public left. Good to see you tonight, Tim. Okay, go ahead and make it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.